Everyone, we are back with another plan with me, and this week we are going to be using a first of my luxury inspired kits. This one I will say is pretty obvious of the designer who the inspiration comes from. So, without much needing to be said, this is now available in my Etsy shop. I do have actually two colorways of this kit. So, the first one is the one that I'm using this week for my planner kit, and that is the brown checkered kit. And then I also have it in a cream beigey gray colorway too. So I will have both of these on my Etsy shop. So if you'd like to pick up one of them or both of them, then you can find those in my shop. They will be under the name Luxury Number One, and there will be a brown version and a tan version. So I'm actually really happy with how this kit turned out, and I just always wanted to do kind of a more luxury inspired kit, and I definitely want to do some more kits in the future from other very popular luxury brands. So I definitely want to make this a series in my Etsy shop for my sticker designs. I think will be really fun. Hopefully I won't have any issues with it. I'll leave that there. So like I said, this is the very obvious, if you know, you know, but sometimes you just got to be a little bit demure in your tagging to not have issues. So I guess the one thing I want to talk about for this week, which has definitely been on my mind this past week, is of course the time change. And honestly, I'm not even going to talk about other recent events that have taken place this week. I just honestly do not have the mind space and the capacity to even deal with that. So don't worry, I am not touching that topic at all. This time of year, after we have daylight saving times ending and it gets dark at literally like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it's pitch black, is really some of the hardest times of the year for me personally, just because I don't know, I tend to be a little bit more of a in my feels kind of person to begin with. So then to not have the sunlight on top of that, especially now until the winter solstice, is like really metaphorically and actually like the darkest time of the year for me. But I do have to admit there is also a little bit of like a comfortness to it at the same time, which is a very strange kind of paradox. But I always find that although I do get a little bit of like seasonal depressive disorder, whatever they call it, I definitely suffer from that. I think most people do, to be honest, whether they realize it or not, just because you really don't appreciate the sun until it's gone. Especially now this whole week, it has just been very dark and gloomy and rainy. And although I am very appreciative of the rain, because not to sound like a boomer, but we really needed this rain this last few weeks. And I was raking my leaves the other day, and my yard was just like dry dust. It was just kicking up dust. So I am glad that we have gotten quite a bit of rain lately. But on the other hand, with the time change, it has been so dark and so gloomy, which has definitely put a little bit of like, I don't know, a little bit of like a damper on my mood, I think, a lot of the time, because the sunlight just does so much for me. But on the other hand, another reason why I kind of do like whenever it gets dark so early now is that I feel like I almost have more time at home, because I'm really just forced to be inside, and it feels so late. And then when you look at the clock and you're like, oh, it's only 6 o'clock. Wow, I've got so much time left in the day. I do feel like this is a good time of year for me to do a lot of like inside the house type of projects. So that is the one upside I will say to daylight savings time ending. And, just feeling like every time I look at the clock, I'm like, wow, I've got more time to do stuff. So I do really appreciate that at this time of the year. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty trying time. On the other hand, it's just something that's on my mind is I have an issue with my car that I need to take in and get it resolved. So basically, long story short, is it started with just the like buttons on my steering wheel stopped working, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. So at first was just the buttons on the left side of my steering wheel went out, and so I was thinking, okay, well maybe it's just like a fuse or something that needs to be replaced. Then the buttons on the right side of my steering wheel went out, and then shortly after that, also my cruise control went out. So then I was like, okay, I think this is probably more than just like some fuses that need to be replaced. And I am not a car person at all. So I just kind of like Googled some stuff and tried to figure out like what was going on. And as far as what I can tell, maybe the problem is, I think I might need a new clock spring, I guess, question mark. Tried to take my car to like a local shop, a place that my family members recommended to go to, and honestly I just had a really bad experience and they were not able to look at my car at the appointment time that they had scheduled for me. I left my car there the night before so they could get right to it the next day. They didn't even get to it until after the lunch hour, and then literally 10 minutes before they closed today, they called and they're like, yeah, we haven't gotten to it yet, and it's a Friday and we're not open on Saturday, so you can either come pick up your car or you'll have to just let us have it till Monday. I'm like, okay, I cannot go the entire weekend without my car because I left it there at like 4:30 on a Thursday for my Friday appointment. And overall, I just wasn't very impressed by the customer service at this place, and they weren't even able to help me after all, and I just could not let them keep my car for the entire weekend and then not have a car on Monday to get to work. So unfortunately, it just did not work out. So that is always very stressful dealing with like car stuff. But in the end, I think I am just going to take it to the dealership, which was what I wanted to do in the first place. But I got talked out of it because, you know, maybe it would save a little bit of money going to this other place. But it honestly, it just wasn't worth it. So now I have to start the process over and deal with that next weekend, because I'm not going to have time to deal with it through the week. So that's always so stressful, is dealing with like car stuff and then dealing with like very unprofessional businesses as well. So unfortunately, that's another thing I've got on my plate for this week, but hopefully I will be able to get that all figured out, and I hope it doesn't cost $1 million. So if anyone else has any ideas or input of what could be the issue, definitely let me know, because I do not know a thing about cars. Right, guys, so that is pretty much it for this week's little chat with me. I really love how this kit turned out. And like I said, if you are interested in purchasing this one, I do have it on my Etsy shop. You can get it in the brown colorway or the tan colorway, and I will definitely have everything linked below. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.